Hello and welcome to another edition of Mailbag. What is Mailbag? Well, Mailbag is a feature of the channel where you guys leave lots of comments on the channel and I attempt to answer those comments, or if I can't answer those comments, I throw it out to you guys who have more knowledge on some of this stuff than I do. So let's get into the first mailbag of this session. Remember, like, comment, subscribe to the channel. Go over to Instagram and follow me there. Go over to Facebook, follow me there. That's where the normal notices are. And consider becoming a Patreon. Next comment or question comes from N. Just N, okay? And this is in response to backup and restore patches of the Roland System-1 video I did in September 2020, right in the heart of the pandemic this was. And N writes, I seem to have a bad backup because after following this process, each of the 8 banks on the System-1 all have the same 8 patches. Does anybody know if it's possible to get a good backup from somewhere? There doesn't seem to be anywhere online or on the Roland website. I have an Ultimate Roland Cloud subscription if there's a need to get it from there, but again, it's not obvious where it is if it's there. Now, if I've understood the question, all banks on the System-1 have the same sound sets loaded, and you're looking for a restore of the factory set. Well, if this is correct, then all you need to do is just do a factory restore. Now, I've put a link in the original answer to this. I'll try and remember to put the link in here. But effectively, if you do a factory restore, then the factory set is in the ROM on the System-1, and it will take all that factory data out of the ROM on the System-1 and put it into the right slots, as in the banks, on the System-1 following the factory reset procedure. So hopefully that will get you back up and running if you experience something like this. Now, the other side of this answer is that if your System-1, in fact, if any of your area gear starts doing weird stuff, and I'm not going to say what weird stuff is, but it's not behaving as you expected it to behave, then that is always a good candidate for doing a factory reset. Bear in mind, when you do a factory reset, if you've got any custom patterns, sounds, or anything like that in any of the instruments that you're doing a factory reset on, guess what? It gets blown away. So make sure you've got a backup before you do that. But quite often I get asked, my System 8, my System-1, my TR8 is doing something weird. And that weirdness is probably caused by something in the software not aligning correctly. And because it's not aligning correctly, what you end up with is it just sort of kind of bumbling along. And when you do a factory reset, it resets everything back to factory, and then all of a sudden everything starts to working as you expect it to work. So that's a good tip, just to regularly when you see things start not to work as you think they're going to work, just do a factory reset. Next comment or question comes from the Death Beats in response to should we boycott AI generated music, a rant I did in May 2023. And Gary, who is the Death Beats, writes, hey mate, this is a bit of an off topic, but I thought you might be interested to know that I've finally been getting some time with my new Roland SH4d. Now, Gary told me he was going to buy one of these SH4ds. And I did ask him to let me know how he got on. However, I've been trying to get it to work with the USB powered input on the Roland MX-1. And guess what? It's not working quite as expected. I'm able to power it from the MX-1, however the sound is completely distorted, as if it was coming through something like a guitar pedal. I've tried taking the master output down within the SH4d level, and that has had absolutely no effect. I'm guessing this is something that Roland will have to address, but it doesn't suggest they didn't bother testing the device with the MX-1. Either that or they didn't see any point in fixing the issues since they dumped the MX-1. That it would be might be I thought you might find this interesting. Cheers, Gary. Now, my first thought would be that the Roland MX-1 actually does not have enough oomph in terms of amps to power the MX-1. Amps means current, by the way, and the SH4d from just the MX-1 transformer. The boutiques need about 500 milliamps, and that would be the top of the range for the MX-1 to support. Typically, if it is the amplification circuits that consume most of the power with a synth, so it's going to be devoid of power. It would be distorting. Anyway, that's just my theory, but it would be great to get some real-world feedback. I think Gary did say, actually, and I haven't got it written down in my notes here, I think he did say that he's actually done a factory reset and managed to get the thing working, but it wasn't working with the MX-1, so either there was a setting change that the factory reset restored or something along those lines, but whatever way it was, I think he said he's got it working now, but I can't remember whether that's true or not.